Tashi, Art, and Patrick are friends to lovers that fight over each other for 2 hours. These 3 characters are introduced as Art and Patrick are playing a challenger final against each other in the opening minutes. On the surface, it's simply 2 players playing tennis, just like watching the US Open from your couch. But the longer this film goes on, the more it tells us about the players' past relations and how Zendaya fits into it. We see them first meeting Zendaya's character Tashi as an 18-year-old tennis phenom. She's the girl of any player's dream. She destroys people on the court and uses her incredible beauty to destroy meat off of it. The best of both worlds, and appealing in different ways to each of the 2 leads. Art asks her about her game, and Patrick focuses on getting her into his hotel room. She's everyone's type.
Wait, are you on Facebook?
What?
He's asking for your number. And so am I.
From here, we pop in and out of their lives for the next decade or so. Tashi and Art go to Stanford, Patrick goes pro, Art and Tashi get married, and Art becomes a powerful figure in the world of tennis. But there's so much more to this story. There's things that it does tell us, like Patrick's terrible management of his early relationship with Tashi, Art's desperate acts of stupidity to try and break them up, or Art's inability to beat Patrick one-on-one in tennis. Patrick is more naturally gifted and ends up falling short of his potential because of this lack of effort to grow.
Hitting a ball with a racket is a great way to avoid having a job.
While Art has to constantly train and better himself just to almost beat Patrick to get Zendaya's number. So much to unpack there, but so much more under the surface.
You want my best piece of advice for you? You want me to coach you? Okay, quit.
So much is unspoken between the decade that goes by on screen. There's little hints at what these characters have become since first meeting, like the quick shot of Patrick's right arm, which looks bruised and nasty, likely from drug addiction. Or the hint that Tashi only values the people in her life that are great tennis players like she used to be. To her, everyone is a tool to be used and dropped when its value lessens. Now, these are simple and easy to understand uses of subtle storytelling. Tashi never says that she hates Art for his dwindling value to her, but it's pretty easy to tell.
Hey, I love you.
I know.
The real subtext of this story is obsession and the game of life playing out through tennis. Anytime I've been excited about anything is when there's something to lose. If there's nothing to lose, then I lose interest. No one wants to watch a movie where the Death Star is just floating about. No one wants to watch the Avengers stop a gas station robber. No, we want to see the fate of the world hang in the balance. We want to see our heroes stop the sun from engulfing New York and get the girl. If there's nothing at stake, there's no reason for me to care. Challengers knows this and puts everything on the line. Patrick has no money, no aspirations, and no place to sleep. Art is recovering from an injury and is attempting a comeback. We learn this as the film goes, and it makes for one of the most intense and suffocating final volleys. Everything is on the line. This challenger finale is the culmination of all of their lives to that point, adding a layer that makes this match so much more intimate. 3 sets of a match, 3 acts in a movie, and 3 parts of these people's lives. Set 1, the early times. Good and fun, but ultimately won by Patrick. He bested Art, got Tashi's number, and dated her into college. Set 1 goes to Patrick in both life and their challenger tennis match. Set 2, the college years. In college, Art's closeness and utter obsession with Tashi brings him closer to her than ever, sowing contention between her and Patrick until their relationship falls apart and she has a career-ending injury. Patrick isn't there for her, and Art ends up marrying her because of that. Point to Art, leading to the finale. A tie going into the 3rd. Set 3, growing up. This is where things get really nasty, leading us to a tie-breaking 4th set after one of the most dramatic serves ever. Patrick secretly communicates to Art about his wife, Tashi, and suddenly the playing field is leveled. There's no longer 2 people fighting their pasts. In the form of a tennis game, they've told each other everything about themselves since they split ways, and in turn, they've told the audience. Suddenly, they understand each other, and in these last moments, the last volley, they don't care about their beef anymore. They're friends again, just playing tennis. And Art finally beats Patrick. The one thing he could never do. Throughout his life, Patrick could do everything without putting in any effort. He's naturally talented as a tennis player. He's naturally charismatic, getting any woman he wants. He's even better at beating his meat. Art had to learn and work all of this until he was good. including bidding as me. He had the drive Patrick didn't because of his lack of natural talent. Yes, Art was never able to beat Patrick because of Patrick's natural gifts, but also because Art had no self-respect. He's Tashi's lapdog, going wherever and doing whatever she wanted just because he felt that's what he had to do to keep her, even if it ended up making her resent him. At one point, Patrick even says he's an asshole, but at least he knows he is. Art has no clue who he is, and neither does Zendaya.
Unfortunately, my only skill in life is hitting a ball with a racket.
He probably started playing tennis because someone else wanted him to. He probably went pro because Tashi pushed him to. And he stayed playing professionally because Tashi wanted him to. And finally, he played in this challenger because he was told he needed to get his confidence back.
Tell me it doesn't matter if I win tomorrow.
No. The only thing he wanted was Tashi, and he ended up losing her because he wanted her too much. His obsession ultimately led to resentment and drove him to rock bottom. Just like Tashi's obsession with tennis drove her to lose everyone around her. Only when Patrick subtly tells Art something through a serve is Art able to see what his life has become and who he actually is. They're both just doing things they think they should because they think they should. Which is why Patrick ultimately gives his serve that tells Art what happened between him and Zendaya. He does this because he knows it's gonna help all of them get to a place where they should have been all along. He steps to the side and allows Patrick to win a set so he can realize he isn't playing him so he can regain confidence, or to prove he's still good, or even to show Tashi that he's committed. Once he realized what has happened to him, he's playing for himself. He smashes a ball at Patrick's face just because he's mad, and at that moment seems to finally do something for himself. He didn't look to Tashi for approval. He just did it. He takes control of his life and finally beats Patrick. Even Patrick himself forgets his commitment to Tashi to lose the game and just plays to win. And that is also why when Art leaps into the air to hit the final shot, Patrick forgets the game and saves his friend from falling. The subtext is that life often draws us towards people and places that we deserve, even if we think they're below us. Now, our lives won't play out like a tennis game, but if we see it through the lens of a game, it can help us to understand where we've gone wrong and who our real friends are. That's the real genius of challengers.